Hey guys, I'm Sarah Louise. Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to jump on tonight and make a video about why I no longer identify myself as vegan. So there's a few reasons for this, and I would just like to start by saying that I do actually eat a very high raw vegan diet. Most of the food that I eat is not only plant-based, it's also raw, and I do it for conscious reasons, and I also do it for health. But there's a few reasons why I just don't really like the label anymore. I've been trying to move away from labels full stop. I don't think they serve to help us grow. I think they just tend to serve in dividing us and separating us and making us feel that we're more unique or more superior or different to other people, and I just think they end up causing a lot of arguments and division. I obviously do still hashtag the word vegan because I make a lot of vegan food and I make a lot of plant-based food and I make a lot of raw food. So obviously if I'm hashtagging, then I want someone to find what I'm making. So of course I'm still going to use those labels, and that's why I think they are useful. I think they're useful in a restaurant, they're useful if you want to know what someone's going to feed you. They're useful if you're looking up a recipe that's to do with what you want to eat, whether it be keto, vegan, what have you, or an intolerance. But I don't feel that beyond that they seek to be useful to us anymore, and they just become almost a tool of keeping us all in this either superior or separatist camps. But the second reason is also I realize that actually more than plant-based or vegan, I'm actually just outside of the health. I'm just more about my footprint actually, and it's become more and more, I've become more and more aware of this. So I think it's especially since I've been getting my water and my food from the local it's not really that local. It takes me about an hour and 10 minutes to drive there, and there's a biodynamic organic farm, and I've been getting a lot of my stuff from there, and I've been getting spring water from the spring there. And Lilith wants to come say hi. So it's made me realize that my footprint is so important, and that we can't really go around thinking that we're somehow morally or ethically superior to other people, because if we start to dig and look around, there's so many things that we're doing that are probably worse for many vegans than non-vegans. And a lot of it to me has now become about sustainability and just really anti-mass production as much as I possibly can. And for me, this feels morally better than just being vegan or plant-based, because what I find is that a lot of people, and it's not really, I'm not saying this to judge people, but a lot of vegans are on a real high horse about being vegan, while they're buying loads of junk food, packaged food from supermarkets, and they're buying bread and grains and wheat. And this stuff, if you actually look into it, kills so many small farm animals in the machines, even up to the level of badgers. And you've got mice, and just many animals get hurt and harmed in that mass production farming thing of making your loaf of bread. And then you've also just got the fact that it's probably going to come in a plastic package. A lot of it is flown in, so it's had loads of air miles, and God knows how many animals have gotten hurt in that. And then you've also got all this plastic and this packaging, and that's harming animals because it's just lying around, and they're getting it stuck in their intestines, they're getting it caught on their faces. And I came to realize that being a vegan that eats a lot of supermarket food and packaged food was probably no better for animals than people that are buying some meat from the biodynamic or just organic farms where it's very, very small production. Now, I don't want to eat meat. It doesn't feel right. It's just not the journey that I'm going on. But I just realized that it's not really for me anymore about being this vegan label. It's just about trying to reduce my footprint. And I do think that is done through trying to limit buying mass-produced items, because they cause more damage to our environment, to animals, than probably anything else. And it's what makes it a lot crueler. So when I go to the farm, I actually end up buying things that I would never buy from the supermarket because I know when mass produced they're really, really cruel. But I know if I get them from certain sources that they're not so cruel. And eggs is one of them. When I go back to Devon, I always feel great getting eggs because there's a little place that just has some pet chickens and you can go and drop a couple of quid in the box and you can, you know, take away 6 eggs or 12 eggs. Because a lot of this cruelty comes from the mass production of it. If you just had a pet goat, it wouldn't really be that cruel to milk it and to eat a couple of your pet chicken's eggs. And I would love to see where, as a society, we had these small groups of people get together and maybe took care of animals just between a street of people or something, and they could access those products between them. Because, I just really started realizing how harmful on all levels, it's not just food, but mass producing things is. And then we just end up people buy more than they need and it gets wasted. And I just think sometimes it's a little bit hypocritical when people think that they're really morally superior as vegans when they're just eating loads and loads of packaged food and they're getting it from the supermarket and it's come from loads and loads of air miles. And I'm not saying that I'm never going to buy food from the supermarket again. At the end of the day, sometimes you just have to. Sometimes you can't, like, you know, for me, my nearest farm like that's all done on site by hand, is quite a drive from me. So if I run out or I just need something or I need something they don't have, I have to go to a supermarket. That's just the way it is. And I can't say that I'm going to be perfect with that, but I'm trying to improve and I'm trying to go, I'm trying to just, and you know, that's not perfect because I have to drive to get there, but I do try and do a big shop and I get all my water at the same time and it lasts me, you know, 1 to 2 weeks. And that for me feels the best that I can do right now. But I think it's just about using one's own moral compass, and rather than going around and saying, I'm vegan, you have to be vegan, if you're not vegan, then you're morally bankrupt. I think it's about us all finding our own moral compass and what we're happy with. And obviously some people just don't care at all. And I don't know what to say about those people. But for those of us that we do care and we want to live in a better world and we want there to be more compassion and we want good treatment for the animals that we live with, you know, we have to follow our own moral compass of what we feel is right and stop kind of pushing that onto other people in the same way, because none of us at this point in time can be perfect. Because like I said, you've got those people that are banging on about being vegan, but then they're probably going to the local supermarket and buying all kinds of stuff. And if you're buying grain and wheat products, like I said, you know, they've been mowed down by machines, lots of animals have been killed in the process. So nothing is really vegan unless you can go to a really small holding or you can grow your own fruit and vegetables in your own garden. And obviously when you're like me and you come from a country like the UK, the amount of fruit that we can get is so boring, and you do need to go get some tropical fruits. But I just think that we can make those steps to do things that feel good with us morally, and we don't have to be in these tight boxes that I almost felt like once I said I was vegan, I put myself in a box and it started to feel very, very restrictive. It started to feel like I couldn't follow my own intuition on things. Like if every now and again my body felt like it really wanted some product that I'd sort of boxed myself in and I almost felt guilty or bad or like I had to hide it or something, and that's not the right way to be. And I just gradually have, you know, moved further and further and further away from trying to label myself. If you look on my posts, you probably would just think that I am, because I'm hashtagging vegan if I'm making vegan food, which is, like I said, 98% of the food I eat is not only vegan, it's raw. But yeah, I just don't want to be boxed in anymore. I want to follow my own morals, my own intuition and my own cues for my own body. And I really think that that's what we all should do. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't care at all. I think we should all be moving to a more compassionate space and a more wholesome space. But I think that has to be led by our soul and it has to be led by us. And we shouldn't just feel boxed in by by a label. So yeah, that's why I do still eat predominantly raw vegan, but I just don't want to be boxed in by that label anymore, and I want to be free to follow my soul, my intuition. And I'm repeating myself loads here, but yeah, I think a lot of people have been feeling the same lately, because I have quite a few friends who have had similar sort of thoughts to me recently about all this, and started having the odd egg or the little product here and there, and not feeling bad about it, just feeling that their body asked for it, they felt that that was an ethical source, and they just went with it. But yeah, how does everyone else think about that? And I hope everyone's good, and speak soon.